Damn, yo, what's good, what's good? Is the mic working? Is anybody in here? Sorry, running a little bit late. As always, we at the late show. Appreciate everybody pulling up. If anybody's in the building, give me 1 second. Man, how was everybody's Memorial Weekend? I know it's not always a time for celebration. Appreciate everybody pulling up. If anybody's in the building. James Furbo, what's good, what's good? Unleashing Addiction, what's good, what's good? So, LVR, what's good, man? Nice to see you in the building. So, before we start out, man, it's Memorial Day. I want to shout out to, all the soldiers, all the troops, everybody that sacrificed, their time, their families, their lives, for our freedom. The families, the wives, that held it down while the husbands were away fighting for our freedom, for all the things, that we take for granted on a daily basis, in America that other countries don't have, that, freedoms that people that were mourning on this day, maybe possibly tomorrow on some other channels because it's a little bit late on the East Coast. But, shout out, thank y'all for everything you do, fighting for our freedom, and, prayers to all the families, loved ones, and blessings to all. Shout out to everybody being in here. How was y'all's Memorial Weekend? Did y'all barbecue? Did y'all drink some beer? Did y'all smoke some trees? What'd y'all do? Let me know. Can you hear me? Everything good in the building? All right, well, the delay is longer than I thought. So yeah, man, we are 1 day away, right? Tomorrow we are back, I do believe, at camp. It is time to start separating the men from the boys. Who makes this Raider roster? Who doesn't make the Raider roster? Getting down to those final days where it's cut time. We have 93 guys on the roster right now. I do believe, or 91, I do believe that we have to cut down to a 53-man roster. So the next couple of days, of course, we'll be all up in the roster, breaking it down, going over some players who we think is gonna, surprise some people and make this team. Who do we think is gonna, surprise the nation and not make this team? There's a couple of those. Also, we'll get into a little scenario. PFF has graded their quarterbacks for 2025. Where does Geno Smith rank? I'm sure all y'all know by now, but we'll get into that, of course, a little bit later. Defensive wise, Christian Wilkins could possibly very well start the season on IR. If that's the case, that's mandatory 4 games. Could that be a problem for the Las Vegas Raiders? Absolutely. But could it be a blessing for some of these young studs, trying to make a roster right now? Sorry, I just pulled up the wrong thing. Hold up. Yeah, so defensive wise, where the fuck am I at? Back to the top. Oh no. Damn computer. So we all know Max Crosby. I'll pull this up in a minute and go over it, but Max Crosby. But I find it very interesting, behind him is Charles Snowden. We all know what went down. They re-signed him for a reason. The guy had some flashes last year. Off the field stuff, if you can get that fixed, doesn't really matter as long as you're producing on the field. Obviously in the NFL, they're gonna let you play unless it's absolutely wild. Double O, I'm not OV, they have him at number 3, and then Ja Joyner 4th. Now this isn't any standards, this is our lads. What it do, what it do. But behind Christian Wilkins, this I find very, very interesting. So, fuck it. I guess let's just pull it up real quick. We're gonna talk about it. Might as well be about it. Oh, that's a lot of shit to pull up. This one, I do believe. Alright. So y'all can't see all of it. 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Shrink this up a little bit. Shrink it up, stretch it out. Pause if necessary. Oh shit. I don't know how much I'm gonna have to shrink this. Hold up. Shrink this shit a lot more than I thought. Fuck, is that enough? No. Some beach. Somewhere. Alright, I think that's enough. So I can continue talking. Shout out to everybody in the building. So, I'm gonna go back to my damn screen so I can read this shit. Alright. So behind Christian Wilkins, who you know might be good, might not be good. We don't know what's going on with C. Will. We got 2 piano mans in the building. What's going on with that? What's good? What's good? But they have Leaky Fatu behind him, Tonka Hemingway, and then Zach Carter, 4th on the depth chart. Which again, this ain't Raiders. This is our lads. You know, it could be switched up. It could be definitely moved around in the next couple days. Zach Carter had flashes last year. There was, you know, when he was out there a couple times, he made a couple good tackles in the run, stopped the run a couple times, chased the quarterback on a couple good plays, was getting a couple pressures, so he had some flashes out there. There's a reason they kept him around, but there's a lot of depth on this defensive line, with or without Christian Wilkins. So Tonka Hemingway is another guy that, you know, is flashy, but the fact that they have Adam Butler as right defensive tackle, they have Jonah Lalu behind him. If it were me and Christian Wilkins can't go, I'm moving Adam Butler over and I'm putting Jonah Lalu in as the starter unless he gets beat out by somebody, obviously. Let me know if it starts lagging or whatever going on. I hope everything is good. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Furpo in the building. After that, they have JJ Pegues. Now, I've heard some people talking about where do they have this guy listed at? I think they still have him on the offense. So they have Lackey Tossi. Now, we all know they've been working him out on the offensive line, but I've heard some people talking about possibly at fullback. I mean, this guy is an absolute monster at fullback, but we also have JJ Pegues, who's very, very athletic for his size, can also play that position. And I've brought up the fact, you know, a couple times that maybe you move a guy like, you know, Zamir White to that position because of his speed, because of his catchability, and his best asset the last 2 years, like we talked about, has been blocking. So, you know, defensive line, do we have a Christian Wilkins replacement? No, but I do feel like we have, you know, 4 or 5 guys, JJ Pegues, Taven May. Again, I don't know much about this kid. Homework for tonight. Watch more film. I got to check out Taven May. See where he fits in. I seen number 68 out there. But if I'm correct, I believe maybe they have a 68 on defense and on offense just because there's 91 guys right now out there. I'm not positive, but I did see a 68 on the offense. So, maybe they're trying to move another guy over to the offense like a Trevin May. I'm not positive on that. But what I'm saying is right now we have 4... Shit, and I think there's one more. Oh, yeah. Take that back. Blackie Tassi and Tank Booker, who I keep forgetting is on this roster. Now, right now, he is 5th as right tackle. That's a lot of work to do, right? But competition. So if these guys can come out and impress right off the rip, I believe some of these guys, could make the roster. We got rid of older guys that were on this roster. On the defensive line, we've got faster, we've got stronger, we've got younger. So Christian Wilkins is going to be very, very hard to replace. Hopefully, it's only for 4 games. But I believe it gives these younger guys, because all these guys, besides, Leaky Fatu, which, unless he's playing nose and we're running, 5 defensive linemen, which we very well could. I could see a lot of scenarios where first and second down where we go 5 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and just 2 safeties and 2 corners. I know people are going to be like, we don't have the linebackers to cover the slot. It's like, hopefully it's not in the slot, right? In the run, like I said, run positions, short yardage positions, goal line. We have enough defensive linemen to do that can get to the football. But I believe this is going to definitely change around. This is not going to be the order in the next probably week, maybe 2 weeks. June 1st cuts coming up very, very soon around the corner. Do they go get guys in free agency? I've said it since Pete Carroll, and Spytek was hired. I just don't see us going crazy in free agency. They both believe very, very, very highly in building your franchise through the draft. We did very well last year. We did excellent this year, I do believe. So, we still have guys from previous drafts before, not too many, but 1 or 2. Shit, I think that's about it. Do we have any guys more than 2 on the roster? Somebody let me know. From the last 5 years, I don't think there's too many draft picks on the roster, to be exact. But anyways, the last 2 have been pretty good. But depth-wise, we're pretty good. We have Adam Butler that could step in for Christian Wilkins. Jonah Lalu, who, played when Wilkins was hurt last year, has been showing signs in camp. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Jonah Lalu. I've talked to him about him a whole lot on this channel. JJ Pegues. And then again, I have to watch Trayvon May. I don't know much about that kid, but if they brought him in, he's definitely all about football. Has a high motor. It seems like everybody on this roster. Then you have Malcolm Kuntz, Tyree Wilson. This is another question. Just stop right there. Pause for a minute. Tyree Wilson. How do y'all feel about Tyree Wilson? Do you feel Tyree Wilson is better on the inside? Kind of like a 4-3 technique than he is outside on the edge? Let me know in the comments. Yes or no. Y for yes, N for no. Make it simple. But I believe Tyree Wilson needs to be inside. He's not fast enough to be on the outside. He's strong enough, but you can't just win on strength in the NFL outside on the edge against these, tackles that are just getting more and more athletic, stronger and stronger as time goes on. So To me, and it's just my opinion, to me, Tyree Wilson needs to be on the inside. But then where does that put guys like Tonka Hemingway, JJ Pegues? Last year we kept 9 defensive linemen. We kept 4 on the outside, I do believe. Yeah, we have 4 on the outside in Snowden, Crosby, Tyree Wilson, and Malcolm Kuntz. Malcolm Kuntz got hurt. Did they bring in Caleb Von Chasen right away? I don't believe they had Caleb Von Chasen right away. That was later on. So somebody help me out. Somebody was on the roster last year, but we kept 4 and 5 defensive linemen. Maybe it was only 3 and 6 defensive line. 6. But the point is, we kept 9. We'll probably keep the same this year, maybe 10. I could possibly see them keeping 10. But then what what position are you taking guys away from? I believe last year we had 6, corners, nickel, slot, whatever you want to call it. I don't see that changing much, unless some of these guys really, really stand out and they feel like, we can rock with 5 or 6 and move one of those, possible spots, corner. We only have 4 safeties. I think we're not going more than 4 safeties unless they have, a hybrid guy that's going to play a lot of nickel, a lot of slot, free safety. So if they keep a guy who would probably be like a Lonnie Johnson type, then possibly, very well possibly, they keep 7, only 5 guys instead of 6. But more than likely it's going to be 6. Then when we come to linebacker, they have listed as Devin White, who a lot of people are hoping to have that breakout year, right? I'll get to the chat here in a minute. I won't let it get too far or I'll never, ever, ever catch up. But it seems like not too many people late night, so it's good. But yeah, Devin White, who all of us are hoping can get back to those, Pro Bowl years, Super Bowl years. He is only 27, right? Now, I'm not comparing nobody to a Ray Lewis because you can't compare guys to like Ray Lewis, but there are linebackers that have played, and are still playing. We have one on our team right now, right? And Landon Roberts. So guys can play into their 30s. At 27, man, he's got at least 3 more years if he's healthy. If he could keep the speed up, in coverage, which is the biggest question. But I believe in this team, with the coaches we have, with the players we have, with the leaders that we have, this man's not going to have a whole lot of pressure on his shoulders. He might have some pressure behind him in Amari Gaynor, right? You have Amari Gaynor behind you. You have Jalen Smith that we've brought in. And you also have, Jalen Walker. No, not the Jalen Walker from Georgia. The other Jalen Walker. Spelt a little different size linebacker, right? Little different type of linebacker. But a guy that, they brought in at UDFA could possibly make a roster spot, right? He's a good tackler. Decent in the run. Then you bring in a guy like Michael Barrett. Played on the Michigan team and a Jim Harbaugh, defense that every Michigan team, Jim Harbaugh's defense is very, very solid. Then we go to the middle linebacker. And if y'all don't notice, right, there is no Sam, right? It's Middle and Will. They don't have a Sam. So I don't know if that's because of depth or they're just not going to run 3 linebackers, which not many teams play 3 linebackers anymore. But we have a Landon Roberts who is You know, a lot of people think he's too old to play linebacker. He's not going to be that guy. He can't cover. I don't believe all that. This dude is nasty. He has a lot of that, Robert Spillane, hard hat, dog mentality in him. He's going to smack guys. They're going to know he's there. Guys aren't going to want to run up the middle. He's a veteran. He can put guys in the right place. It shouldn't take him long to adapt to the playbook. And behind him, you have Tommy Eichenberg, a guy that's been making noise in camp. A guy that made a little bit of noise in camp last year also, and then got hurt and wasn't out there and couldn't stay healthy enough to get on the field. Didn't get much burn his rookie year. So it's kind of like his rookie year all over again, right? Kind of like Tyree Wilson had, 5-6 games as a rookie where you're getting 10-15 snaps is not enough to to flash, in my opinion, or to show whether you are or aren't the guy. You got to be healthy, right? Accountability is the best availability. Then you have a guy who I think is hot on both their heels, just because of the athleticism, the willing to tackle, his knowledge of the game for a young man, and Cody Lindenberg. I think this kid has a chance, to move up this depth chart. Definitely move up the depth chart. Then you have Matt Jones, who I have no idea about. So that's 6, 7, 8. That's 9 linebackers. Last year, I do believe we kept 6. It could possibly be 5. I could be wrong. But I do believe it was 6 last year. And if we're keeping 6, I mean, you have to pretty much, unless somebody just really, really blows this coaching staff away, you pretty much have to go with a Devin White, a Landon Roberts, Amari Gaynor, and I think the rest is kind of up in the air right now. Amari Gaynor is not a lock, and either is a Landon Roberts or Devin White. But I think we do need veteran leadership. Tommy Eichenberg, second year. Amari Gaynor, second year. Cody Lindenberg, first year. Jalen Smith. How long's he been in the league? Definitely not his first year. Jalen Walker, first year UDFA. Matt Jones. I do not know. Let's find out. 6'3", 236. Okay. Depth chart, key piece, birthday. That's all I get? That's all? That's, no rookie, nothing. Alright, well, I would imagine he's a rookie. So yeah, what do y'all feel about the linebackers? Y'all feel like there's going to be a battle between these? Oh shit, would I go too far? You think he's going to be, a big battle between Cody Lindenberg, Matt Jones, Jalen Walker, Jalen Smith, a guy that could put one of these young guys on the practice squad, which, if you're on the practice squad, could easily get one of these guys, scooped up off the team. Are they willing to let one of those guys go, right? You can only protect so many guys on the practice squad every year. So when you have a lot of linebackers like that, I'm thinking, I think Cody Lindenberg really makes his team, whether it's, again, special teams, because a lot of these guys, if you're keeping 6 linebackers, might not get playtime, but they can get a lot of playtime when it comes to special teams. So I think we keep 6. I don't know who they are yet. Then you get to corners. Now on the left side, it's Jacorian Bennett. And then behind him is DeCamarion Richardson. Now, does he play that slot role? Does he get beat out for that slot role? Is he only used in dime situations? Which I don't see the Raiders running a lot of. Does anybody even use that shit anymore? And then you have Mello Dotson, who I believe, is not even a sleeper. I think this kid has a very, very good chance to make the roster. It'll probably be special teams, maybe kick returns, punt returns. I don't know. If he did that in college, if he's capable of doing that. What his 40 time is, any of that shit, but I'll figure it out, break it down. But Jacorian Bennett, a lot of people say the kid got better last year. I don't think there was enough games on the grass to say whether he improved, right? If you look at his PFF rating, it dropped. There was, not much improvement. He was pretty good in coverage. He was not great when it came to run defense. You can't have that as a corner. You have to have a guy that's willing to come up, stick his nose in there, make tackles, stop the run. And I believe that guy last year was DeCamarion Richardson. He was damn good in stopping the run. A guy like Mello Dotson is another guy, not the biggest guy on the team, on the field, but is a guy that reminds me, of a guy that we lost that really, really hurt us in the defense last year in Amik Robinson. This is kind of that dude, the guy that's gonna, can play all the spots. If somebody gets hurt or certain package situations, Mello Dotson could be that guy. And I think he's going to surprise, probably not too many people, because I think a lot of people believe in Mello Dotson to really make a surprise, to really make this roster. Then on the right side, they have Eric Stokes, which has been my prediction. Why not put him on the outside? Jacorian Bennett, Darian Porter in the slot. That's been my prediction, to have those three guys to make the team. But they have Darian Porter second on the right side. They have John Humphreys. Is that it for corners? Oh, all right. So they got Nick. All right, they had me confused with the NB over there. So yeah, Darian Porter and then John Humphreys, right? A guy out of USC, I do believe. Another tall, lengthy guy, has that size, has that speed. I don't see him beating out Darian Porter. I do see a battle. Depending on where they want to use them. But from what I've heard in practice, rumor on the street is they've been playing Darian Porter on the number one defense as the number one corner. Now, don't put that shit in chalk. Don't put it in ink, or you can write it in chalk because that shit's erasable. Don't put that shit in ink. So we've talked about it before. I talked about it a lot. I really think this kid, fuck, I let this get way too far. Chewy, what's good? I'll get to this chat in a minute. Appreciate everybody dropping in. Tark the Shark, Rebels, what's good? Tark the Shark, damn. You must be a Vegas guy. Those were the days at UNLV, right? All right, I'm gonna get sidetracked. I gotta stop looking at this chat. But yeah, so Eric Stokes, Darian Porter, Jacorian Bennett. But don't forget about DeCamarion Richardson, man. This kid played his ass off last year in the run game. He got cooked an awful lot. Of course, in the passing game, a lot of it was over the middle. You know, was it him getting cooked because the dude has the speed and the length, or was it just him not knowing, the play? Because like I talked about before, in the beginning of the season, DeCamarion Richardson was out, right? He was hurt. I believe they had him on IR for a little bit also, I think. So he didn't get a lot of reps on the practice squad. He definitely get no burn until like week 8 or 9 or some shit like that. So it took the kid a while to get out there, and he was kind of thrown into a fire, right? He didn't get a lot of practice. He got mostly film room, a whole lot of tape, a whole lot of film room. But hands-on, he didn't get a lot. So I'll give him that. I thought he did well. But, like I said, was it the fact that he didn't know the play? Thought he had a guy behind him help, didn't. The guy was doing something else. Shit like that happens if you don't know the guys around you, if you don't know what your job is. And I seen that a couple of times, right? It looked like he's running with the guy 5-10 yards and then letting him go, and there's nobody there. There's no help over the top. So that should have all come around. I don't think that should have happened under Pete Carroll. So I look for, if Darian Porter does take that number 1 job, what does this do for Jacorian Bennett, right? If Porter ends up being our number 1 guy over a guy like Eric Stokes, who was a first-round pick overall, over a guy like Jacorian Bennett, who was, a third-round pick? DeCamarion Richardson, same, I think, a third-round pick. That means we have a lot more depth than I thought at corner, right? If Porter in his first year at rookie, does it say a lot for our second corner? Because if this kid just comes in and beats these guys out right off the rip and is our number 1 corner, that leaves me a little skeptical about Jacorian Bennett and Eric Stokes, right? Who's been in the league for a while, had some ups and downs, still has the speed. Like I talked, said was a former first-round pick. I think last year was the only year in the NFL with Green Bay that he played in 17 games. So can he stay healthy? Can he take that next step? And have another full year? But he's better on the outside. If you look at his stats over his career, inside is not his spot. So if Darian Porter takes one of those outside spots and Jacorian Bennett takes the other, where is this leaving Eric Stokes in this, right? Because if he's not great at the slot, and I'm not saying he can't be, I'm not saying he can't play that position or he can't hold it down, maybe in a different system, used in a different way, he can be that guy that has that, breakout year. What's it, 4 years, 5 years in the NFL, 3 years? But a former number 1 pick, everybody hopes and has expectations of the guy being healthy, putting it all together, and showing he was worth a first-round pick. Can it be that year with the Raiders? We've had guys who did that, right? Casey Hayward a couple years ago came from the Chargers. I believe he only gave up a couple catches, no touchdowns that year. And then they released him the next year. So, we've had guys come in and get second chances and be that guy. So, I'm hoping for it, right? I'm hoping Eric Stokes can be that guy. But then again, you have guys behind him that are hungry, very hungry. Mello Dotson, John Humphreys. So it could be a nice little camp battle, something to keep, something to keep your eye on, something to watch out for. Let's get into this chat before I just ramble all day. Couldn't get a video. I don't know what you're saying. You're a streamer, you should know about blah, blah, blah. Ty needs a breakout year. Needs to show something. But I think he might be gone soon. I agree. Sorry, I had to scratch. But yeah, I agree. If it's not very soon that he shows something, and there's been talk that he's looking good in camp, but we heard that last year, right? We heard that last year. I give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I keep giving him the benefit of the doubt, simply because if you look at his stats and his snaps, he's rated up there, with some of these decent guys, mostly on the inside, not on the outside. So yeah, I agree. He definitely has to break out. But they have him, second, backing up the right defensive end spot. I don't know if he keeps that job. I don't know if he Jafari Harvey is way more athletic. He's way faster. His get off is way faster. Pause if necessary. He has the strength. It's not Tyree Wilson, unhuman-like strength, because the dude is strong as hell. But Jafari Harvey is nasty, bro. This kid is gonna surprise some people. And why don't they have Flip is the other guy. But yeah, Jafari Harvey, man, I really like this kid, and I think he's gonna make a push if he can get, I think he's faster than Andre Carter the second. He doesn't have the experience, obviously, but again, Andre Carter doesn't have much experience either, and Jafari Harvey really has an opportunity to slide up this depth chart, and be that guy. I think he definitely has the athleticism. He's a little raw, needs more work. I mean, definitely I'll give him that. I don't know who else is on here that I'm not looking at. Oh, Jaw Joyner. I talked about Jaw Joyner also. Where they got him at? Oh, at left end. All right. And then you got guys like Jaw Joyner that I believe who can play both sides if he has to. Guys like that are more valuable. We've seen Tyree trying to play both sides. He tried to take over for Max Crosby. There were flashes here and there. Okay, wasn't great. Candy says, I streamed today. I don't pay attention to other streamers. That's rude. No. She couldn't afford it. Told her to talk to Shark. You have to go beg someone else for a new bed. Who's begging for beds? What? Whose bed you trying to get in? Kamala Harris is rated to our draft pick. Trey Harris? What? He will be wide receiver number 2. Can't have a better year than the first year. Man, I feel sorry for that kid. She's a bitch, bro. She's bitchy as hell. She probably one of them mean ants that you don't want to go stay with in the summertime and shit. What else we got? Again, my guy. Hey, y'all go follow Chewy NFL Games and News. I don't know if he's dropped anything yet, but he's been going live with a couple content creators. Hit me up on IG, man. Raiders Rebel. Follow me. I'll pull you up one of these times. But I gotta have shit set up. Marcus Banks, what's good? What's good? Appreciate you, my guy. What else we got? Oh shit. Again, not much about football. Sweet. I love it when y'all guys just talk amongst yourself. And I can just ramble. So yeah, man, I think we have a very, very interesting, corner battle going on. A lot of people say that that's one of our weaknesses, linebacker, corners. We don't know who's going to be that guy. But if Darian Porter can step up and be that guy, right off the rip as a rookie, that's special. That's special. That makes this draft special. That makes this defense special. That means we have Jacorian Bennett, Eric Stokes, and I know, Jacorian plays on the other side, but you might have to move Eric Stokes, or Darian Porter. I don't think he's locked down at right corner. I'm not exactly where he played. If he played left or right at college, it was only 1 year, so I believe you can really move him anywhere. You'll put him at slot. You can put him at either outside position. It just, do they want him covering their number one guy right off the rip? But if he's the best guy out there, I do, right? I don't know about y'all, but I want the best dude out there covering the guy right off the rip. So might be definitely a battle. And then, don't overlook John Humphreys, a USC guy. He has cover skills. I watched some tape. The guy looks pretty damn good. 6'2", fits that Pete Carroll MO. Then you get the safeties, right? We'll get to offense here in a second. I won't be on very long. I won't keep y'all too late. I appreciate you pulling up this late, rocking with your boy. Definitely appreciate it. So, the safety, the strong safety, right? That muscle spot, that smack you in the mouth, pow spot. I like Pow Malpay in there too. But Jeremy Chin, right? He's gonna move around. He's gonna be in the box. Pause if necessary. Hopefully it's not your box, but he's gonna move around. They're gonna put him in all kinds of positions. Either way I say it, it just sounds bad. Well, he's the number one, right? He's the number one guy. And then they have listed Lonnie Johnson Jr. But if you look at the Raiders roster, they have Lonnie listed at free safety. I've also seen him listed as a corner, so I don't know where this man's going to play. Maybe he'll be that hybrid, slot kind of guy. If he makes this roster, again, safety position, there's 6 guys. Is there more? All right. So there's 6 guys. More than likely, they're only keeping 4. I don't see them keeping any more than that. Really no reason to, unless, maybe they like 2 guys and they decide to keep them on the practice squad just so they don't get rid of them. But you have Jeremy Chin. Then they have listed as Lonnie Johnson. Then you have Trey Taylor, right? A guy drafted in the 7th round last year out of Air Force. Won the hell award did he win? I'm not going to sit here and think. It's not going to come to me. It might here in a bit. Same award Charles Woodson won. And all these star corners win. Anyway, very prestigious award that I can't remember the name of. It's so prestigious. Yeah, so Trey Taylor, man, just a little kind of like an Ashton Genty playing in the backfield, right? A little ball of energy. A guy that's not afraid to smack you in your mouth. He's good at finding the ball. He's good at tackling. We could have used him last year a lot. He's even a guy that you can put in the slot. Now you're going to be like, what? Trey Taylor in the slot? Yes, Trey Taylor could play the slot. He's fast enough. He's damn good in coverage. He's a guy that I don't see, going anywhere anytime soon, which means there might only be one spot left for Lonnie Johnson, Thomas Harper, Chris Smith II. We'll get to that in a minute. Jonathan Sutherland, and my guy out of Arkansas, Hudson Clark. So that's a lot of battles. Do we keep 5? I really don't see it. If we do, I'll be surprised. But I don't see why, we wouldn't. Some of these guys can play special teams, like Melo, like Lonnie Johnson, who says he wants to be, play special teams. So I could see a guy like Lonnie Johnson making this roster to play special teams, or a guy like Jonah Sutherland also making this roster for special teams. Trey Taylor, like I said, a hard-hitting guy that's the kind of guys they've been trying to bring in, guys that love football. I think the fun and games last year, we won't bring it up, kind of held him back from getting on the field, plus the injury. So a lot of people, maybe not, but I am very, very interested to see what this kid has. Again, I believe he could play the slot if we had to put him at the slot. A guy that can play the slot, that can play the strong safety position, could play the free safety position. I don't know, maybe I wouldn't put him on the outside, but I'm sure if he had to, could probably, hold it down here and there. So Trey Taylor is going to be valuable for this team, I do believe, but he could also be one of those guys that, size-wise, if he can stay healthy, yeah, but if he can't, size-wise, injury-wise, just might not be, Pete Carroll and John Spytek's cup of tea, right? They weren't drafted by this organization. There's guys they brought in, like Jonathan Sutherland, like a Hudson Clark. There's guys that have been on this roster, like Chris Smith II, that I've been waiting for, 2 years for this guy to get on the field, to break out. A guy that played, out of his mind at Georgia. He was on championship teams, or teams that were, battling for championships at Georgia. So this kid is another kid that's, special, has that size, can hit like a damn truck. So competition. It's all over this shit. And I know everybody's seen the title, Drink the Kool-Aid. Everybody's wondering what it's about. We'll get into it here in a minute. But I believe Hudson Clark is a guy, could also make this team special team wise. He's a guy that's not afraid to throw his body in there. He's a pretty good tackler. Was at the same school, for 5 years. Brady, Spytek, Pete Carroll, all love guys like that don't transfer, that stay with the team, that show loyalty, right? Even through different coaches. I think he had 3 different coaches in Arkansas since why he was there. So, a guy that can make some noise. Offensive wise, we will get into that tomorrow. Tomorrow. But let's get into this. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna have to adjust everything again, probably, huh? Whoa. I don't know. Oh, jeez Louise. Alright, I don't need any of that. Should be good enough. I mean, shit. Works for me. Alright, man, so let's break it down. Sipping the Kool-Aid. PFF has its latest quarterback ranking. And yes, I started it right there, so there's no mystery. But let's go back to the top. Because they have these in tiers, right? They labeled these in tiers, and I was in tears laughing when I saw it. I'm gonna be honest. I believe in my quarterback. But damn, I thought I was drinking Kool-Aid. Whew, they got that shit spiked with some tequila, rum. I don't know what. They're drinking Long Island iced tea type Kool-Aid, which I don't know if that's a Kool-Aid. But I guess you could put some food coloring in it and make it look like a Kool-Aid. But man, Patrick Mahomes, I'm not going to read too much into that. They got him as number 1. I disagree. but it's me, right? I believe it's Joe Burrow. Dude, on a team not even close to Patrick Mahomes, offensive wise, defensive wise. Yes, he has a way better receiver. We all know that. Two probably way better receivers. But he don't have a Kelsey, right? And he throws 40-something touchdowns with almost 5,000 yards. And you put Patrick Mahomes as number one. But it is what it is. I'm not going to argue it. You know, this is their shit rankings. I'll do mine later. Stay tuned for that. Joe Burrow, though, number 2. Lamar Jackson, number 3. I mean, I might even argue that at this point. If we're just looking at stats, if we're going by playoff wins, I've had this argument on this channel till I'm blue in the face about DC, about AOC, about all the alphabets. Fucking, wins are not a quarterback, bro. It's a team sport. It's a team sport. But if you're going by quarterback stats, you could move Lamar Jackson up just a little bit. 94.9 overall grade to a 93.5 passer rating. To an 86 point, O grade, just because it was 2 seasons in a row. It is what it is. I'm not questioning that. Josh Allen could be a big debate also. 95.4 overall grade. His 91.4 passing grade in that span is 3rd among all quarterbacks. And what? Oh, over the past 3 years, it's 3rd overall. They got him 4th. So just take that with a grain of salt when we get to the rest of the rankings, right? Then you have second tier here. Y'all can see, right? All right, cool. Actually, I can move this over. Hold up. Y'all need to see all that shit. All right. Back to the show. Actually, fuck that. Alright, so Jalen Hurts just won the Super Bowl, right? Coming off a Super Bowl victory. They have him 5th in the second tier, which is crazy to me. Now, over the past 3 seasons, his 91.5 overall grade ranks 5th among all quarterbacks. Yes, we can take that into perspective. But if you look at his touchdowns to interceptions, I don't know how that overall grade works out if you're not throwing in his running and his rushing touchdowns. So, another thing you can question an awful lot. I know he's a rookie. I know you have a sophomore slump. I know. However, man, come on. Jaden Daniels, as a rookie, had a crazy year. The best quarterback in the NFL under pressure. Not reading into all of it. If y'all can read it on the screen, go ahead, read along. His rookie campaign was arguably the best ever seen, with his 90.6 overall grade, making it the highest ever recorded by PFF for a rookie quarterback. Why didn't we sell the house for this dude, bro? I don't know. I was against it. I'm not gonna lie. I was totally against giving up the house. But damn, I changed my mind now. Fuck. Nah, he would have not been that good on the Raiders. There's no way. The Raiders would have ruined this kid. Probably like they would have ruined Shador. Anyway, That's ridiculous. But sixth, you know, as being a rookie, I could see that. I could see that. Matthew Stafford, a guy the Raiders tried to go get. He was their number one choice over Geno Smith. It's obvious. Wiz Cheese, what's good, what's good? Unleashing Addiction, what's good, what's good? Appreciate you dropping in. A number one fan. Don't forget to hit the like button. Unleashing Addiction, subscribe with some Raider content. Why? I think Geno was ranked 6th. Oh, no. I mean, what? I mean, with some Raider people, THT, what the hell's a THT? Also make Raider content. I think he's scared and also lives hella far from LV in Oakland. You don't have to be in Las Vegas or Oakland or LA to be a Raider fan, bro. They're nationwide, worldwide. They're everywhere. Everywhere. They're crazy here in Arizona, Lake Havasu. They're crazy when I'm in Arkansas. They're crazy everywhere I've been. Everywhere I've been. I've been to 29 states, worked in 24 of them. Raider fans everywhere, baby. Worldwide. Rebel lives Northwest Arkansas. Lake Havasu visiting his sister for his cousin's funeral. Alright, back to the shit. So, not reading that. But man, they have Matthew Stafford, who obviously was the number one choice over Geno. They tried to glue him in. They couldn't reel him in. I don't know if y'all can hear that fan. Maybe that helps a little bit better. Y'all should have said some shit. But Matthew Stafford, 74.7 overall grade, is less than Geno in the last 2 years. Justin Herbert from the Lightning Bugs, right? His 91 overall grade over the past 3 seasons ranks him 6th. And win, this is a big key word right here, win. And win, excluding playoffs performances, his passing grade actually tops Patrick Mahomes. Okay. I don't know if they're trying to be nice or if they're just straight out dogging Justin Herbert here. I mean, he hasn't been very good in the clutch, right? But let's read the first statement because I wanted to save that for last. I thought that was the best. Herbert might be the best regular season quarterback in non-clutch situations. Let me repeat that. Justin Herbert might be the best regular season quarterback in non-clutch situations. So, what? Oh, mom first. You better listen when mom calls. However, can you blame it all on Justin Herbert? Yes, he threw 4 interceptions against the Texans last year. Yes, he was on the sideline saying, I hope we tie in the Raiders game so they can make the playoffs. You can't blame it all on this kid, right? They got rid of his number one receivers. His number one receivers were, up there in age, decent receivers, but didn't really have a top number one. They really haven't had, a crazy running game since LT. So to put it all on Justin Herbert, I don't think is fair. But he's definitely not very clutch. But in the past 3 seasons, a 91 overall grade is higher than Patrick Mahomes. They got this dude 8th overall. Is this last year's? Fuck, I don't know. Jared Goff from the Detroit Lions. And Geno Smith, 10th. So, obviously, few have pegged. Which, that don't sound right. Few have pegged Smith. Positive necessary to grade as the 6th best passer in the NFL over the past 2 seasons. But here we are. In fact, his 85.8 passing grade in that span is just 0.2 points shy of Patrick Mahomes, which don't mean jack, really, right? Because they could have said the same thing about Geno Smith when it comes to clutch games. Now, don't try to sit there and act like these fools ain't drinking the Kool-Aid that everybody else has been drinking, and we'll get to that here in a bit. But damn, they got some Long Island iced teas, man, I'm telling you. Because, yes, that's a high passer grade. But let's finish the sentence, right? Just 0.2 points shy of Patrick Mahomes. But after being traded for a 3rd-round pick this season, Smith showed... Smith showed enjoy an improved offensive line, but a downgrade in receiving weapons. His prospects, he protects the football and has a knack for generating big-time throws. Now, let's stop there before we get into Brock Purdy, who has just been paid a crazy price, and they have at number 11. That's not what I wanted. And let's look at this. So, the weapons that Geno doesn't have, right? Last year, how much better really was Geno Smith's weapons in Seattle? Well, here they are on the screen. So, you don't have to ask. Alter games, you want more? Wait. Are there any games you want to go to more than others this year, Rebel? Yes, I really want to be at the home opener on Monday Night Football. More than anything. Start out the season with a bang. A win on Monday Night Football. Yeah, that's it. So, let's get into this. J. Smith Najigba. Is that how you say it? Najigba. 100 catches. Absolutely outstanding. Great year. 137 targets. Could he have helped his quarterback out a little more? Rick, my guy, what's good? Up late early this morning. Yeah, I'm up late. It's probably early morning for you. Damn, is it? You can't be up in the morning. Yeah, I'm up late. It's midnight here. So yeah, a little bit late. But Smith had, like I said, 100 catches on 137 targets. He averaged 11.3. That's pretty damn good. But there were a lot of those that were yards after the catch. The YAC, right? How many to be exact? Well, if y'all could... Why isn't it switched? Holy shit. Oh, I didn't switch that. Fuck my life. 2 seconds. Let's go back over here. Alright, I was trying to go back to the big screen. Yeah, shit. I'll pull it up. It's just easier to talk about it when it's on screen, I guess. I need this one. Ta-da! Alright, that's good enough. I don't have to make no adjustments. Snap dizzle. I like when shit comes together. Alright, so back to this shit. Geno will enjoy a better offensive line and a lesser receiving core. Let's not to mention an absolute way, way, way better run game, right? Chip Kelly's offense. You have AJ. We have the rest of the troops behind him. Raheem Mostert, could have one of them 21 touchdown seasons. You never know what kind of season he could have. But back to the point. 17 games played. In Jigba, 1,130 yards, 6 touchdowns, 14 big plays. That's a lot, right? That's plays over, 20 yards, I do believe. Big plays. But if you look at his yak yards, 477 yards. So that's almost half. Almost half. I'm going to repeat that shit. Of his yards were after the catch. Now, it's not exact. It's a little less, obviously. So it's probably about 40, I'd say 45% if you want to be exact, of Smith's yards were after the catch. Now, DK Metcalf, right? Everybody said we got to trade for DK. We got to get Geno's number one weapon. That wasn't Geno's number one weapon last year. Geno's number one weapon was the youngster. You know how many youngsters we have on our offense right now? Well, we'll get to that here in a bit, so stay tuned. But 66 catches, 108, 108 targets. That's 40 drops. 42 drops. That's 42 drops for DK Metcalf. Could he have helped his quarterback out a little more? Absolutely. He averaged 15 yards per catch. Only 5 touchdowns. His long was 71. He had 20 big plays. Over 20 yards. He fumbled twice. But he also had 263 yards after the catch. So, a lot of Geno Smith's yards were to DK Metcalf. 700 of them. Tyler Lockett only had 134 yards after the catch. He had 600 yards on 74 targets with 49 catches. That's a lot of drops. It's not a huge amount, 25, but it's still a little bit. Then you have Noah Fant, tight end. Did not have anywhere near a season Brock Bauer had, right? We'll get to that in a bit. He had 277 yards after the catch. 500 yards total, 10 a catch, only 1 touchdown. He had 64 targets, caught 48 of them. That's a pretty damn good percentage, I'd say. His next best receiver was his running back. I do believe rookie running back. Or was it his second year? And Charbonnet, I believe that's how you say it. Dude had 52 targets, caught 10 of them for 340 yards. Wait, I don't even know how that's possible. So he caught 46 passes for 340 yards with 1 touchdown, but he had 377 yards after the catch. So I don't know how you could have 377 yards after the catch. Oh, he is a running back. Maybe some of those were losses. I get it. Got it now. Their starting running back had 299 yards, but he had 263 yards after the catch. These guys helped Geno out an awful lot, but I'm not going to break down every single one. Total, now keep this in mind because this is what really counts. Total, 569 attempts, 413 catches for 4,379 yards. Shit. I forgot what these were. Touchdowns, long, fumble, yak. All right. Touchdowns, 21. Big plays, 71. Yak yards, yards after the catch. Now hear me out again. Yards after the catch. You know why Geno's quarterback rating is so high? It sure the hell ain't because of those 15 interceptions. And I'm not trying to dog on the dude. I'm just trying to open your eyes to see, like, if this dude doesn't have his best year, like I keep saying, turnover wise, man, we could be in trouble with Geno a little bit. And they might have him, all gassed up, dude. This 2,188 yards after the catch. He had 4,100 and something yards. Let's be exact. I don't want to make no shit up. He had 4,320 yards. Half of those were yards after the catch. That's all I'm saying. Now, for them to say that he had better receiving core in Seattle is absolutely just wild to me. It's mind-boggling. Brock Bowers had 153 targets. He caught 112 for 1,194 yards, more than any Seattle receiver had. Averaged 10.5, only had 5 touchdowns. Those numbers have to go up, and I believe they're going to go up a lot this year. Look out for that. His long 57, but he had 15 big plays over 20 yards. Smith and Jigba had 14, so that's one more than him. DK had 20. If you put those together, right, they had 34. If you put these two together, they had 31 big plays. The difference is, they had Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, and what is his first name? And Ritter. I can't even remember the kid's first name. Brock Bowers had 596 yards after the catch. Outstanding. Shout out to Brock Bowers. Jacoby Myers had 293. So, if you look at those two guys right there, and you tell me that really Geno had better receivers, now he might have had bigger names in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, but Tyler Lockett had 600 yards, right? We went over that. He has 600 yards on, what I say, he dropped 5. He had 74 targets, I do believe, and 49 catches, I think it was. So, we look at Trey Tucker. He had 81 targets, 47 catches. That's way too many drops. Way too many drops. I'm not blaming all those on the quarterback. I'm not even blaming half of those on the quarterback, I promise. But he had 539 yards. Now, on 40 receptions, 47, 539 yards is not bad. He averaged 11.5, 3 touchdowns, long 58. He had 6 big plays. Those numbers got to be better if he wants to keep his job, I'm telling you. He had 208 yards after the catch. Our next guy was our running back, Madison, just like Seattle's, but they only had 294 yards on 48 targets with 36 catches. Madison was pretty damn good when it came catching out of the backfield. Amir Abdullah was even better. 47 targets, 40 catches, 261 yards out of the backfield, 3 touchdowns. But he had 352 yak yards. So almost all his yards were after the catch. Alexander Madison had 314 yards. More yards. He had 294 yards. It says 349 yaks. So, man, I'm telling you, Devontae, wait, that don't even count. Is this 2020 fucking 3? Oh no, it's Garner. And then we're not even getting to wait, what the fuck? All right, receiving, my bad. So I said keep in mind those numbers, right? What? He can't block you? Oh. Oh, I get you. Did he really? That's fucked up. I thought you liked talking shit in here. Piano Man, what's up with that? So the Raiders, they had 592 attempts with 410 receptions for 4,117 yards. That's only 200, a little over 220 yards less than Seattle had. So to say our receivers are not better is absolutely crazy to me, bro. We have 58. They had 71 big plays. So hopefully Gino, can bump up that number. They had 21 touchdowns. We had a total of 19. They had 2,100 and something yak yards. We had 2,061. Our numbers were not very different last year at all. So for them to have him, I thought they had him ranked 6th also. Somebody said that in the chat. I don't know what the fuck. So if Gino can just be protected, not make bad decisions like we've talked about over and over and over again on this channel, man, they have a chance, to make some noise. But if he can't, thank God we have Aiden O'Connell behind him, right? That's all I'm saying. Piano Man is a pussy. Piano Man, I do not recognize. Don't get an attitude. Come on, dude. Wait, what? Hold up. Rick Watson, Charger Sherlock came too. Who you calling Sherlock, man? Don't be talking to my boy Rick like that. Fuck you talking about? Unleashing addiction, dropping the dime with the $10 holler. Man, I appreciate you. Do you think the Raiders' new receivers can step up and carry the offense in 2025? Well, I mean, that's what I wanted to get to. Let me pull this back up. Is what I was trying to show. Is last year. That's not the right thing. Maybe I pull up the right one so I can see. Yeah, man. So last year, our receivers were Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, and then after that, it absolutely disappears, right? Adams didn't play much. We had DJ Turner, who had 158 yards, 1 touchdown, 83 yards after the catch. We had Michael Mayer, who only had 156 yards. Look for him to do way better than that. Shout out to Unleashing Addiction for always supporting the channel. I appreciate you. But I'll answer your question in just a second. I didn't forget. So, Michael Mayer, 32 targets. That's not a lot of targets, bro. He needs way more targets than that. You got to get this man's targets up to, the 50 range, in my opinion. But 11 drops and 32 targets. It's not going to get you more targets. So he needs to do his shit in the pass blocking, run blocking. I think this is where this man earns his money, and earns another contract if he does get that contract extension. But I think Michael Mayer is going to have to do something to earn that, right? 2 tight ends is very, very valuable in the NFL, and you got to have those. So, receiver wise, Terrence Marshall Jr. had 41 yards. I don't know why Divine Diablo. Those are all interceptions, I do believe. Sincere McCormick had 29, 18. So yeah, but what I'm getting at is when you have these top numbers, 1,194 yards from Brock Bowers. You have 1,027 yards from Jacoby Myers. Two receivers over 1,000 yards. And then you probably replace Trey Tucker. You've already replaced DJ Turner, Devontae Adams. Already replaced Marshall. Bachman is still on the team. You've already replaced Christian Wilkerson. You've already replaced Ramel Keaton. All these cats are gone. And you bring in guys that could easily have 1,000-yard receiving in the NFL, like Jack Beck, like Dante Thornton. My sleeper to make this team, whether it's special teams, punt return, wherever he makes this team, watch out for a little short to drop, maybe a video. Can't find much film on the kid. Not a lot. Most of it is NFL with the Bengals. If you know who I'm talking about, let me know in the comments below. Before I tell you. No. He is related to legend, a Raider legend, Rock number 34. A reason why most of the people in the NFL probably want to wear the number 34. Silver and black. Played every sport. Was dominated in Kansas City playing baseball. If y'all still don't know who it is, man. If y'all still don't know who it is. Bo Jackson's nephew. Shredrick Jackson. The kid runs a 4.25. I'll repeat. 4.25 40. He runs just like Bo Jackson. He has that upright style. Not as thick, not as powerful, pause if necessary, as Bo Jackson, but he is definitely one of those dudes. I'm not Bueno. What's good, my guy? Appreciate you popping in. I'll read that in a minute. But yeah, Cedric Jackson, yo, this dude I believe has a chance to be special. And if he makes this roster, he had some good catches for the Cincinnati Bengals. They have, we know the receivers over there. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition over here, right? We know the 4 or 5 guys. We know 5 guys are definitely making this roster. That leaves maybe 1, maybe 2 more positions for these receivers, unless, they're just added to special teams. But they still have to have a spot somewhere, right? They don't just have a special team spot. You have to have a spot, whether it's corner, linebacker, receiver. They got to put them somewhere. So might be hard for the guys to make the team. But Cedric Jackson, bro, watch out for this kid. I love his running style. He's 6 foot, 205 pounds, I do believe. A guy that could take that DJ Turner spot, that could really, really help us. So when you add Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and then you throw in Alec Bachman, then you throw in Jack Beck, then you throw in Dante Thornton, throw in guys like, Tommy Malott. If he makes it somewhere, Cedric Jackson, the Raiders have a lot of depth when it comes to the receiving core. And I believe it's going to be very hard for them, to make a decision on who stays. Not just because at the receiver position, but how do you use these guys? Can you use them at special teams? Can you use them in goal line situations? Some of these fast guys with better hands, could make the team, and I really think they have a possibility of making the team. Piano Man, I don't recognize. Dude, don't get an attitude. Yeah, don't be fucking with my guy Rick, man. That dude's old enough to be a daddy. He'll smack the taste out your mouth. Respect your elders. Lockett made some dope catches. He did, but he also made a lot of drops. I just showed the stats, bro. Those weren't all bad balls, I guarantee you. Not like the bad balls that I'm not bueno said he has on your chin, but they were bad balls. Why did you block Not Bueno? I like when y'all talk shit. It's funny. Stop blocking me, Karen, and talking shit. Whoa, somebody just blocked all you motherfucking shit. Bye bye. See you tomorrow. See, that's how y'all do that shit. That's easy. That's easy. Hell yeah. Nobody likes you. Don't piss off Furpo. He's not around. Why is he talking shit? 10 seconds. That's it. Oh, come on, man. I thought he was coming back tomorrow. But yeah, so let me know what y'all think, man. It's coming up on an hour and a half. I don't want to keep y'all up, too late. I appreciate y'all dropping back in. I'm not bueno. I don't know if it was you last time or if it was Kenna, but somebody was saying that they didn't want the wrench so they could block Piano Man from the chat and not have to see his shit. I don't know, but I don't know if you watched the live or not, but if any of my mods do not want to be mods, just let me know. I'll remove the shit so y'all can block the fool and not have to see his shit. Just keep blocking. I will try to make it if I'm not in class. I appreciate you. Yeah, I got it live tomorrow at 2:00, and then also Wednesday, somewhere around 2:00. Also, if you're not at work and you can make it, pull up. I will be being interviewed. I won't tell you by who because I believe it's a secret. But pull up. Y'all been waiting for this shit. You won't want to miss it. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be entertaining. As always, it's gonna be informational, right? That's what I do. I come to try to bring knowledge, unleashing addiction with the thumbs up sticker. Damn, that's a big thumb you have. And fist. Fuck. Appreciate the $3, man. Definitely helps keep the lights on. Cause any minute they could go out. So definitely appreciate you. I appreciate all y'all showing me love. If y'all got appreciate you, my brother. Hell yeah. If anybody got any questions, if y'all got anything to say, if y'all ain't got nothing to say, I'm gonna go do my thing. I've been waiting on some of them consoles all day. I kind of like it in the dark. Does it look better in the dark? Let me know. Y'all like it better in the dark? And the live. Y'all like the live better in the dark or with the light on? Kind of like it better in the dark. Can't see my fucked up ass teeth. But yeah, shout out for all the love in the channel, Unleashing Addiction. Again. I think I got the let me double check. I gotta double check. Make sure you send me your email so I can get in touch with you, because I got some new merch coming out. Y'all stay tuned. I mean, if y'all want to help support the channel, again, you don't have to, but if y'all want to rock some fire ass Raider gear, it's not just Raider Rebel shit, but there is some Raider Unleashed shit. Got some shit that says Raider Rebel coming out also. And then some other Raider shit, little things here and there, trying to help the channel. All the money goes back to the channel. Try to grow this shit. Better cameras, obviously a better computer, because I'm really pissed. Thursday I tried to go live and my shit just kept lagging. So nothing like being frustrated and not being able to go live. Lights on, please. Why you want the lights on? That's dumb. Alright, well, since only one person answered. But yeah, man, so again, appreciate y'all. Definitely always pulling up, showing support. Thanks to all my mods in the building. And damn, I got no green trees in the building today. Hold up, I gotta go all the way back. My guy LVR, y'all go check out his channel too. I don't know if he's going live back with DSR, but they always got some fire content. He makes fire shit on his Instagram channel. Y'all go show him some love also. To see my handsome, shut up. I'm turning the lights back off just because you said that. I don't even know why you want to say some shit like that. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I think most of my mods are members, but I'm just saying it was kind of, no, don't they have a green star next to them? I got to figure this shit out. If you're a member, you should have a green star, right? Mods just have a blue star? No, because you're a member. I don't know. Anyways, I appreciate all of y'all. They turn blue, LOL. Oh, I don't know, but shout out for all the members in the building that are here. To the ones that aren't, disappoint me. Nah, I love y'all too. But again, shout out to all our troops, all our veterans. Again, all the people that, you know, sacrifice their lives to fight for this country. Shout out to all the vets in the chat. I appreciate you. If anybody's a veteran, thank you for your support, your sacrifices. Again, my membership expired. I'll re-up soon, bro. Nah, you good. Just stay in here. Free ones pop up all the time. Actually, I think I'll pop some up tomorrow. So pull up tomorrow. We're gonna talk about running backs. We're gonna compare something probably some of y'all might not like, but pull up. We'll break it down. Y'all have a good night. Much love as always. Ray.